Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So here I am with the explanation of 7th chapter coordinate geometry for class 10th. So in this video, we will start with the introduction of coordinate geometry, then uses of coordinate geometry in daily life, followed by Cartesian plane, plotting of a point in a plane. Then we will find out distance between 2 points, examples based on all these topics, and at last, there will be a pop quiz. So let's get started with the introduction of coordinate geometry. If I ask you location of Delhi in India, then you will say, ma'am, it's in the northeast direction in India. Then what about the location of Kochi in India? Then you will say it's in south direction in India, right? But if I ask you about the location of these places with respect to world map, these locations will not work there because India is in northeast direction in world map. So what we got to know here, location of any place can be determined on the basis of direction, but direction knowledge can't provide exact location. So how we can find out exact location? Yes, it's possible just because of coordinate symmetry. Here I am going to tell you exact location of Kochi, which is 9.93 degrees north and 76.26 degrees east. And location of Delhi is 28.70 degrees north and 77.10 degrees east. These are the geo coordinates of these places. These are of Kochi and these are of Delhi. And this is possible just because of coordinate geometry. So coordinate geometry was first introduced by the French philosopher and mathematician René Descartes. And coordinate geometry is also known as analytic geometry or Cartesian geometry. Cartesian geometry, we call it on the name of René Descartes. In geometry, we study about points, lines, planes, lengths, areas, volume, surface area, and so many things. While in coordinate geometry, we study about location or position of an object. So this is the basic difference between geometry and coordinate geometry. It is widely applied in various fields like engineering, physics, navigation, and seismology. Now let's find out its uses in our daily life. So latitudes and longitudes, geo-coordinates for describing the accurate location of a place. Just in the beginning, I have explained you how we could find out the location of Delhi and Kochi. So here we are using geo-coordinates, which are basically based on coordinate geometry. Then Google Maps. Nowadays, we are frequently using Google Maps as we are having a GPS system in our smartphones when we are going to some unfamiliar places, right? So Google Maps are working basically on the principle of geo coordinates. So here again, coordinate geometry is useful. Air transport. ATC working, that is location of every aircraft at any particular instant of time in the sky. Suppose if 2 or 3 planes want to land almost at the same time, then ATC means air traffic controller instruct them that which one has to land at first and which one has to wait in the sky. And this is just possible with the help of geo coordinates. Again, in tracking system, mostly we are using nowadays many food delivery apps like Zomato, Swiggy, courier delivery apps like Blue Dart, and many shopping sites, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, all these are working on the live tracking system, which is basically based on geo coordinates. In video games developers use coordinate geometry to specify the location of objects, and characters means they can specify text, images, and different shapes or different objects with the help of coordinate geometry while developing video games. In construction field, even we are using coordinate geometry while making flyovers, metros, and highways. Civil engineers use geo coordinates to find out the paths where flyover, metros, and highways can be constructed. So these are the very vast uses of coordinate geometry in our daily life. Cartesian plane. Basically, Cartesian plane we are using in coordinate geometry, with reference of which we find out the position of any object. Cartesian plane is consists of with two perpendicular number lines. The horizontal number line x dash is known as x-axis. The vertical number line y dash is known as y-axis, and the point where they are intersecting is known as origin. Now you can see here Cartesian plane is divided in 4 parts: first, second, third, and fourth. We call these parts first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. We are measuring these quadrants with respect to positive x direction and in anti-clockwise direction. From positive x-axis, we are going towards anti-clockwise. So this first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this one is third quadrant, and this one is fourth quadrant. And for each quadrant, we are having a particular sign convention. As you can see, first quadrant is enclosed with the positive x-axis and positive y-axis. So each and every point in this quadrant will be having plus sign convention. In second quadrant, it is enclosed with the negative x-axis and positive y-axis. So all the points will be like minus plus convention. In third quadrant, it is enclosed with the negative x-axis and negative y-axis. So all the points will be having minus sign convention. In fourth quadrant, it is enclosed with the positive x-axis and negative y-axis. So all the points will be having sign convention plus minus. So this is the Cartesian plane, which is consisting of two perpendicular axes and an origin and 4 quadrants. Now just find out plotting of a point in a plane. Here you can see I have shown you a plane having a x-axis and y-axis, and here we are having a general point xy. As you know, in coordinate geometry, we denote a point in ordered pair form. Here x is representing x coordinate and y is representing y coordinate. So if we have to plot this point on Cartesian plane, then we have to move x units towards x-axis. Suppose here we are having x units and y units towards y-axis. If we are having here y units, then we will drop from this point where we are having x units on x-axis a perpendicular in upward direction, and from this point where we are having y units in y-axis, we will drop a perpendicular towards horizontal direction, and where these two perpendiculars are intersecting each other, that point is our desired point xy. And here the point where these two lines are intersecting, because these two number lines intersect each other at their zeros. That's why the coordinates of origin we are having 0, 0. And x coordinate is known as abscissa and y coordinate is known as ordinate. Means we can say the name of x coordinate is abscissa and the name of y coordinate is ordinate. Now let's any point on the x-axis will be of the form x0, because here y will be 0 at every point on the x-axis. Here you can see at 1 we are having 1, 0. We are not moving towards y-axis. At x-axis we are having 1, so it is 1, 0. At x-axis we are having 2, so it will be 0.20. It will be 30. And on the y-axis, all the points will be of the form 0, y, because on the y-axis we are not having x coordinate. We are not moving towards y axis. So all the points will be of the form 0, y. It will be 0, 1. This will be 0, 2. Just like this, it is 0, 5. Now let's plot a point P, which is 5, 6 in the Cartesian plane. So here 5 is x coordinate and 6 is y coordinate. So how we will plot it? Just we have to move 5 units towards x-axis, and at the 5th unit, we will drop a perpendicular towards upward direction. Then we will cover 6 units on the y-axis, and at the 6th unit, we will drop a perpendicular towards the horizontal direction, and where these two perpendiculars are intersecting each other, this is our point 5, 6, P 5, 6. So this is the way how we can plot a point on a Cartesian plane. Now we will find out distance between 2 points. If we have to find out distance between point P, X, Y and origin O. As you know, coordinates of origin, we are having 0, 0, and P is the point x, y. If x is equals to 3 and y is equals to 4, then how we can find out distance between O and P? So here you can see we are having a right angled triangle. OPX. Here, with the help of Pythagoras theorem, in this triangle, we can find out the value of OP. So, for finding out distance of any point with respect to origin, we can very easily use Pythagoras theorem, and it is very easy to calculate the distance OP. Then OP will be square root of x square plus y square. Here OP is the hypotenuse and OX is the base and PX is the perpendicular. So with the help of Pythagoras theorem, we can say OP square is equals to PX square plus OX square. OX we are having X and PX we are having Y. Then OP will be equals to X square plus Y square. Just by putting the values of X and Y, which are 3 and 4, it will be square root of 3 square plus 4 square. So OP will be equals to 9 plus 16, which is square root of 25. That is OP is equals to 5 units. So this is the way to find out the distance of any point with origin. Now, if we have to find out distance of 2 points, 2 distinct points, means one of the point is not origin. If A is having coordinates x2, y2 and B is having coordinates x1, y1, then how we will find out distance AB? So here you can see we are having this distance from O to C, this is x2. And from O to B, this is x1. So this distance in between x1 and x2 will be x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. And the distance between A and x2 is y2, and the distance between C and x2 is y1. So AC will be y2 minus y1. Now we are having here a right angled triangle ABC. So again, with the help of Pythagoras theorem, we can write AB square is equals to BC square plus AC square. Now BC can be replaced by x2 minus x1 here, and AC will be replaced by y2 minus y1. So it will be AB square is equals to x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Then AB will be equals to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is the formula which we directly use for finding out the distance between 2 points. We need not to go through this lengthy process. Just directly with the help of this formula, we can find out distance between 2 points. Now, if we are having 3 points A, B, C, and we have to check either these 3 points are collinear or not. Collinear means, are these points lying on a line or not? As you can see here, I have shown these 3 points on a line. So for finding out collinearity of these 3 points, we need to check just length or distance between A and B, and B and C. Sum of these two distances should be equal to distance between A and C. So AB plus BC should be equal to AC for the collinearity of these 3 points. So this is the condition for finding out the collinearity of 3 points. Now let's have some examples. First question is, find the distance between the points 0, 5 and minus 5, 0. So here we are having x1 0, y1 5, and x2 is minus 5 and y2 is 0. So as we are having now distance formula, square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square for any 2 points. So we will use this formula for finding out the distance between these 2 points just by putting the values of x2, x1, y2, y1 from here. We are having this expression now. So after solving, it will be as minus 5 whole square will give us 25, and here again minus 5 whole square 25. So square root of 50, which will be 5 under root 2. So this is the distance between these 2 points with the help of distance formula. Now let's have another question. Find out a relation between x and y such that the point xy is equidistant from the points 7, 1 and 3, 5. Means this point is at the same distance from the point 7, 1 and from the point 3, 5. These two distances are same. So we will use here distance formula, and we will apply distances from xy to 7, 1 and xy to 3, 5 with equal to sign. So according to question, AP is equals to BP if P is denoting here point xy and A is denoting point 7, 1 and B is denoting 3, 5. So AP will be equals to BP. Now we can write AP square is equals to BP square. So after applying distance formula for AP and for BP, we are having x minus 7 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square is equals to x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square. X minus 7 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square, and for right hand side x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square, right? Now we will open these expressions with the help of algebraic identities. Then we will be having x square minus 14x plus 49 for this one, and y square minus 2y plus 1 for the expression y minus 1 whole square, x square minus 6x plus 9 for x minus 3 whole square, and y square minus 10y plus 25 for y minus 5 whole square. By using identity, a minus b whole square is equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So after solving this equation, we will be remained with minus 14x plus 6x minus 2y plus 10y is equals to 34 minus 50. So these two terms will get accommodated with each other, and these two with each other. So at last we are having minus 8x plus 8y is equals to minus 16. Now we will take 8 as common here, and 8 will divide this 16. Then we will be having answer my x minus y is equals to 2. So this is the relation between x and y which we had to find out, which they are asking in the question. Here we found that relation, x minus y is equals to 2. Now get ready for the pop quiz. So first question is, point minus 6, 3 is lying in which quadrant? Yes, you can find out it easily. Just check the sign convention here. Here you are having minus plus. So what's the answer? Answer is second quadrant. Next question, point 07 is lying on which axis? Yes, here you can see x coordinate is 0. I have explained you where x coordinate remains 0. So the answer is y-axis. Next question, are the points 1, 5, 2, 3 and -2, -11 are collinear? So just use the condition of collinearity of 3 points, which I have explained you. Now I'm going to tell you the answer. Answer is no. These 3 points are not collinear. Just you have to apply distance formula for these 2 points. And for these 2 points, then after finding out distance, in between these 2 and these 2, you have to add that to distances and then find out the distance between 1, 5 and -2, -11. Sum of these 2 distances should be equal to this third distance. If it is not happening, it means these are not collinear. So here you will not find out left hand side and right hand side equal. That's why answer is no here. Next question is, are the points 3064 and -13 vertices of a right angled isosceles triangle? Yes. Here again, you have to use distance formula as they are asking about the isosceles triangle and right angled triangle. You have to use Pythagoras theorem. So answer is yes. It is a right angled isosceles triangle. Just after finding out these 3 distances, you can easily check out that it is a right angled triangle as well as isosceles triangle. So answer is yes. So that's all for this video. Thanks for connecting with me. See you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.